10. That's the number of times the 95-96 Avs got 1 point in a regular season game. In 2000-2001, it was 14. So far, this year, the Avs have gotten 1 point just 4 times. This is unfortunately one of those times. Avs lose to the Vegas Golden Knights 3-2 in overtime.
Oh my goodness gracious! Wasn't it time? Score! Justice is served!
My point being, the Avs are not great at 3-on-3 overtime, and yes, there's a little bit of a difference in the correlation with there being no ties in the modern NHL, but Stanley Cup championship teams have 1 point games all the time. The 18-19 Blues had 9 OT losses, and last year's champion Tampa Bay Lightning had 6, but that is with a bit of a shortened year. In fact, I think this is a great example of a good overtime loss for the Avs. They have some bad ones, games they probably should have won in regulation, but you have to be pretty happy with the Avs getting a point out of this game against Vegas. And I know, a loss is always going to sting, but the Avs are going toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the league, and they themselves are one of the best teams in the league. I know if you're a recent fan, you're probably used to them playing pretty good hockey, but if you followed this team for the last decade, you know exactly what it's like to not be able to do that. And it was a positive start to this one. It's the Avs who strike early, and you know what? When a dude is this hot, you just play him and get the best out of him. Not the guy that I was talking about, but Sam Girard is having himself a fantastic year as well, is going to be the solo man on the breakout, just decides to do it himself with his legs through the neutral zone at the red line, hands off to Donskoi, who's able to get through the neutral zone and across the blue line with speed up the far wall. He's given just enough room here, and he pulls what is really a superstar move, not something you'd expect out of a Joonas Donskoi, but he's able to pull the puck back and do a beautiful little toe drag just to get around his man and find enough room to fire a shot off. Not only that, but this shot is Mikko Rantanen level accurate as he goes bar down over the glove. I mean, really, where did that come from, Joonas? Donskoi's career high in goals is 16, which he set last season with the Avs in 65 games. We're through 33 games for Donskoi this year, and he's got 12. The dude just cannot miss. It's hard to see how this is sustainable, given he's shooting about 28.5% right now, but as long as it's happening, take it. From there, this game was grindy, it was gritty, it was slow at times. For the first game in well over a month, the Avs get outshot in every single period. For a while, they fell into Vegas's style of play instead of pushing the pace for themselves. And credit to Vegas here. This was Vegas imposing their will on this game. That is what good teams do. Frankly, the Avs just did not get enough out of their top 6 across the course of this game. Penalties were all over the board throughout the entire game, those being called and those not being called. It was total nonsense. I'll talk about that a little bit more later. It is what it is. You cannot change the reffing. You just have to deal with it. Sometimes it's bad. The Avs end up a little bit on the back end of that late in the period. At very least, the penalty here was definitely a penalty that Gabe Landeskog took, even if it only gets called 1 out of every 10 times. When you allow a team to control play, this is the type of thing that happens. Vegas gets the zone, works it in deep, eventually work it back up high. You can see the Avs out on the perimeter chasing pucks, but not able to affect it at all, leaving Vegas to move the puck freely. Eventually, it's going to work over to the near side at Alec Martinez, who's going to set up for a shot here. Nice one-timer from him, credit there. Grubauer gets over pretty okay. He's maybe a touch late here, but he's in position. Unfortunately, it's just another one of those goals. It goes off of Ryan Graves' stick blade. No way Grubauer can react to that from that close, and it's in the net. I don't want to fault the Avs too much and tell them to stay out of the box because, again, the reffing was nonsense, but sometimes you have to find a way. The good news here was the response to that goal is exactly what you want to see in a clash of two top teams. The Avs come right back at Vegas and for one of the few stretches of this game show a flash of the way they want to play hockey. Look, I think McKinnon had another off night, but you put talented players around him and things will still happen. Another entirely solo effort work to get the puck in the zone here. Saad's going to dump it in and then go chase it down himself as everyone else on the Avs is changing. This creates a play out of nothing from Saad, and credit to him there. Even if it does get a little sloppy, the Avs eventually come away with it in the corner for McKinnon, who's able to get it back to Taves, and the Avs get a moment to set themselves up in the offensive zone. Taves working the blue line, looks off the D nicely, looking for that D-to-D pass across to Girard, but eventually comes back down to McKinnon on the half wall, and you can see as soon as he passes it, Taves already getting into gear here to step into this open space. A perfect read from him as Vegas commits to McKinnon. He's gonna find the room. McKinnon's a damn good hockey player. He's gonna find him in the middle. Doesn't mess with this one, fires it in, and beats Fleury on the one-timer. Look, I think there's a very real possibility that Taves is the best acquisition of anybody across the NHL last offseason. The Avs find success in this first period and take a 2-1 lead into intermission. The problem is that first period was the best period of the game for the Avs. The second period was even-ish. Again, there were stretches of hockey where the Avs felt dangerous, but they were fewer and further between as the game went on. More and more, it started to feel like the Avs were just surviving. And when a hockey team is playing like that, bad things usually happen. It didn't take long into the second to see this game tied. Alright, you'll notice the Avs chasing a ton on this play. Taves on the puck initially, Makar moving to the corner, Landeskog trying to come up and chase the puck, and Rantanen even doing the same as well. This is way too much chasing, with no real threat of quality defense, as they never come close to taking this puck away. They're just kind of running around like, young kids playing basketball and they all just stare at the ball and chase it. That's exactly what this was like. Finally, Taves gets a challenge here, but because the rest of the Avs are all puck watching and too deep into the zone, they have no really coverage of any of the other Vegas players. And you can see at that moment, there was only 2 players deep. Now, as it lags a little bit, you have 3 players coming in deep, but still, the Avs coverage here just very, very weak, and no one is really playing quality defense. Vegas ends up controlling. Nothing dangerous comes immediately out of it, but Vegas works it low to high as, again, the Avs for a while now have been heavily overcommitted too deep in their zone, and sneaking in is Shea Theodore, who finds room. This is a defenseman coming deep off the blue line, recognizing the Avs were too deep and taking advantage of it. He's going to fire a shot in on net. It's a good shot. It's probably for the tip all the way, and Carrier in front is going to get the deflection. Grubauer's not going to stop another deflection. Again, it takes 2 deflections in regulation to beat Grubauer. If you've watched this team, you know this team is better defensively than that. They were just a little bit off in this one. The second and third periods wind through. The second, as I said, was somewhat even. The third was 100% survival mode for the Avs. Credit to Philip Grubauer. He kept them in this game in regulation, allowed them to at least get 1 point out of it. A couple of other things. Vegas did hit a post in this game. Now, let's take a look at the reffing. Let's start with these clips of Mikko Rantanen getting abused throughout the game. Not a single one of these was a penalty. Not cross-checking, not holding, not hooking, not anything. Despite Rantanen consistently getting mugged in this way throughout the game. Excuse me. That's the start of it. And, okay, if they're not going to call these things penalties, then don't call them penalties. I'm fine with that. Now let's compare it to this one for Ryan Graves. Coming in at the blue line, Ryan Graves misses the poke check, gets his stick in there, and essentially just wraps the man up like he's trying to tackle him. Is this a penalty? Yes, I absolutely think it is. The problem is the refs have set a precedent with Mikko Rantanen that you can get away with that in this game, and now they've suddenly changed their minds with 11 minutes left in the third period. This inconsistency was mired throughout the game. I guarantee you ask any player in that game what they thought interference was that night, and not a single one would have any idea. And then we have the far, far more egregious comparison. So, keep an eye on Nathan MacKinnon's stick here. In a battle with Thomas Nosek's stick, Thomas Nosek is going to fall down, but you can see Nosek just leans forward and tips over. Look at the gap between MacKinnon and any contact, not just with his skate, but any part of Nosek's body. There's absolutely no contact there as Nosek just tips forward, and this gets called tripping. Not to mention, the ref is right there, had a beautiful angle to clearly see the open ice between MacKinnon's stick and Nosek. Is that a bad call? Absolutely 1000%. The refs got it wrong, but to a certain extent you can live with that. No referee is perfect. Again, the problem is consistency. Now take a look at this one. Gabe Landeskog walking in, gets the shot off, clear stick contact with the skate there, and he ends up going down. Just because Landeskog shot the puck doesn't make that not a trip. If you thought that one was bad, this one is far worse. In overtime, 3-on-3, where possession is desperately important. McKinnon in control of the puck, coming back up towards the offensive blue line in the offensive zone. He gets around the corner, tries to put the puck through Smith's legs. This is tripping, textbook. The universe could not send a bigger signal to this referee staring right at this that this is a tripping penalty. You literally could not sign up. If you didn't make this call in reffing school, they'd kick you out. And yet McKinnon goes down and nothing gets called. I'm sorry, but that's bullshit. You might as well burn the rule book if you're just not going to call stuff like that and keep it consistent throughout the hockey game. So the reffing was garbage. The Avs still 100% made their own bed in this loss. Look, 3-on-3 overtime is what it is for Colorado. They simply just aren't very good at it. Luckily for a team that should easily make the playoffs, that doesn't matter that much. And when you give up a nonsense goal like this one, what do you even say? Vegas has recently gained possession here, but the Avs play this pretty well. It's a 2-on-1 for a minute, but a good crossover from Landeskog to take the puck while Taves defends the pass negates this. Taves plays it very well and intercepts the pass extremely effectively. Two problems here. One, Taves doesn't quite get enough of it, and it ends up ricocheting off of the post. So that's a problem. But secondly, this breaks Taves' stick, and nobody knows it just yet. So after the puck goes off the post, a couple of things happen. First of all, there's absolutely contact between Tuch and Grubauer. Look, I don't think this would have qualified as goalie interference, but given that it was the game-ending play anyway, why not give it a shot? The Avs didn't. It is what it is. Here is where the problem comes in. So this puck comes off of the post. Taves recognizes it. Taves tracks it extremely well. You can almost see it exactly right there. Look at Taves' stick. Sticks bend, but they don't bend like that. That is a broken stick. Had it not broken, he easily would have cleared this puck off to safety over into the corner somewhere, and this wouldn't be dangerous at all. Instead, a failed stick costs the Avs this hockey game. Because he can't touch it, Pacioretty gets to walk in and just touch it into the net. I think the bad news and the good news are very similar here. The Avs could have won this game despite not playing very well. That is good news. And also good news, when the top six shows up, they can crush this team. Problem is the top six hasn't showed up in these last two games. Alright, we'll call it there. I know this video is a little bit late. We're dealing with some stuff on the YouTube side that hopefully should be sorted out very soon. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and head on over to thednvr.com to check out more of our content. I'm finally starting to feel a little bit better, so you can expect to see that green screen and an actual decent setup in use probably sometime this coming week. I am Rudo, and even in a tough game like this, the Avs are for real.
Avalanche time, come on, grab your friends. We're going to the playoffs again with Nate the Dog and